growing up, my parents always were hosting missionaries in our house. So it was a really neat experience for me to be exposed to missionaries, to hear about what they were doing. I think God really used that to create an interest, at a very minimum, an interest in what he was doing around the world, so that by the time I went to the Philippines and Japan, he really didn't have to do much pushing. Always been interested in Asian cultures, stemming from the fact that my brother and I every Saturday afternoon would watch Black Belt Theater. So growing up, I was always used to the hero of a story being the Asian guy. God really, I think, just over time just kept putting little influences in my life and really drawing my attention towards that part of the world. I grew up just outside of DC, and my best friend was Filipino. So always going to Filipino parties, and again, just that focus on Asia. I love to draw, been drawing all my life, love to draw comic books. And that's a huge, huge part of Japanese culture and pop culture. I was interested in Japanese comic books. So God, I think, used that interest then to start narrowing that into an interest in Japan. Beyond the comic books to really specifically in the culture and the people. So by the time that I got to Japan at 16 years old, it just opened the floodgates, and he showed me how the talents that he'd given me to draw and to write could really be used in a way that was very powerful in communicating his character and his love to the people of Japan.
For me, it's kind of shocking to know that there is an entire nation of people who just don't know about Jesus, let alone God. Someone in Japan once told us, if you take a group of 200 people and let's say you're all squished on the subway train, if that same subway train is in America, maybe 30 to 60 of them would be Christians. Take that same train full of 200 people in Japan, not even you would be a Christian. I think we take for granted in America how readily available the gospel is, and to think that there is a whole country of people that don't have access to it in the same way. Even though they're technologically advanced, it's just not breaking through to them. And that's why we want to go, and I think that's why we want it to be important to others too, because there's an entire group of people that haven't heard yet.
I think that's really where Japan's at, is they are lacking an identity in a lot of ways. They just industrialized and got technologically advanced like so rapidly. Modern Japan right now doesn't really know what to do with that, and they are searching for an identity. But really, our identity can only come through Jesus Christ, being part of the body of Christ under the headship of Jesus himself, but being a unique and individual part of that larger body, I think is something that they're really, really missing out on. Because culturally, people in Japan get their sense of self, their sense of identity from the group that they belong to. And I think that's something that we could learn from a little bit as the American church, that sense of belonging to a body that's larger than yourself. So you are sacrificing yourself for the betterment of that body, that you are giving of yourself for the betterment of that body. But for us, it should be done, again, to the glory of Jesus Christ, whereas they're doing it for the glory of their company or the glory of whatever. And that's worthless. Getting outside of our own church walls, our own borders, is so critically important, because if we think about what God's vision for the world is he wants it all. He wants every single tribe, every single people, every single tongue, every single culture to praise his name. And I think of Japan and the disparity that Caitlin mentioned, that there are so few Christians there that they're actually considered the second largest unreached people group in the entire world. And to think of that culture that has so much beauty in it and so many aspects of it that we can see just flourish inside of the church, like that sense of serving a group larger than yourself. Even the word samurai means to serve. So they are warrior servants. And what better picture of what we should be as Christians is there than that? All of those things, again, are completely worthless because they are not done and redeemed by the glory of Jesus Christ. We just want to see the people of Japan and their culture redeemed for the sake of Jesus Christ, so that when we get to heaven, they have a large voice in that chorus.